tell you something I'll tell a lot of people. I don't even feel black some days. I feel like an alien that snatched a black bite and didn't do any research at all, didn't do anything, didn't read a book, didn't watch a movie, doesn't know what Boys in the Hood is, but loves trains. I feel like the person that you are in a split-second decision, that's who you really are. When you don't get to weigh the options or worry about what people might think, that snap decision, that's you in here. I'll give you an example. I was walking down the street in New York. This dude was walking down the opposite side of the street from me, just texting and walking in his own little world, just like texting and walking. And then he walked out into the street, but he didn't have the light. And cars are coming right at him, and he has no idea because he's still just texting and walking, just in his own little world, just texting and walking. And then without thinking, I saw a car that was like coming right at him, and I just ran for him as fast and as hard as I could and tackled him out of the way of a car and ended up saving his life. And not 8 hours later, I grabbed an old lady by the face so I didn't fall down. The same person did both those things in the same day, all right? Not a full 8 hours later, okay? Not a full shift at Denny's later, I'm walking, and I slip on a grape because I'm a child, and as I'm falling, I reach for anything to keep my balance, okay? And I'm not looking, but I know it's a face, all right? I knew it was a face immediately. My finger went in her mouth, okay? I fish hooked an old lady so I didn't fall down. And why should I? I'm a hero. Most recent time I got broken up with in a text message, I had terrible food poisoning. All right? So I was at home on the toilet dealing with my food poisoning, okay? So I'm sitting there on the toilet and my ankle buzzed. My ankle buzzed, sir, because that's where my phone is when it's in my pocket and my pants are down, all right? So my ankle was shaking, so I had to answer my ankle. I don't want you to be confused going forward, okay? And so I went in my ankle, I answered it, flipped over my phone, because that liberal arts degree turned out real well. So I flipped over my phone, read the text message, and it said, I don't love you. I don't think I ever loved you. I don't think I could ever love you. It's over. Now I feel like I've lost everything. Because not only do I have terrible diarrhea, but a complete stranger just broke up me. This is a wrong number. I don't know who this is. But then I text her back like, babe, we can make this work. All right, I want to ask you guys a question. You ever go see a horror movie that's like about a creepy kid? Like the kid is haunted, like little kid is possessed, little kid like that kid, like, is it just me or is that kid never black? Never. But here's the thing, I think I know why. Because a black mom would beat that out immediately. Like, if that were me in my house being like, red rum, red rum, red rum. My mom would be like, where was that bass during choir practice? You want to get up in front of people and act shame and sing like that there. Like, I don't even think a black mom would be scared. Like, she come home, everything's floating all poltergeist style, and she's like, okay, so you can make everything float, but you can't clean that room? You can't clean that room. No, I'm gonna be in there in 5 minutes. We'll see who's haunted, okay? I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, but I was fired from being in a gang. They kicked me out because I was too positive. They were like, why you always smiling, dog? I'm like, I mean, none of us are dead or in jail, and we're a gang. They also kicked me out because I apologized too much. Our drive-bys sounded like... Sorry! Like, that's... After a while, I saw their point, you know? And even when it came down to it, and they were kicking me out, and I was like, I just want to hang out with my friends, and you guys are my friends, and now I don't know what I'm gonna do. Why do I have to leave? And they were like, bro, you giggle. You just like a bad influence, dog. You know what I mean? Like, you over here bringing in puppies and lemonade and like... So I'm out. I didn't know that I looked busted today until a homeless man didn't bother asking me for change. And he asked everyone, all right? He was like, hey, brother, hey, brother, hey, brother, hey, brother. Hey, brother, hey, brother, hey, brother. Oh, it hurt my soul. I took an Uber to get here, and I've come to a decision. We should not be able to see the car in the app on the way to pick us up. It's a bad idea. You are only watching mistakes. You are just watching like, oh yeah, 6 rights and you'll be here. That's perfect. That is wonderful. That's just what I wanted, you know? No, take another right. That makes sense. No, you should pass me. You're right, you know? Sometimes the car will disappear and then reappear in a place that is still not here. You know what I mean? And you're like, wow, teleportation. I had no idea we had reached this level of technology. That's amazing. Sometimes the car will just start spinning. And it'll spin further away from you, and you're like, is he drunk? Should I get in the car, you know? It's terrible, and it's disrespectful to the driver, you know? Because it's only their job to drive you, not to look cool on the way to pick you up. It's not their job to drift down the street and land in front of you perfectly. Pop the car door open like Ryan Gosling. It's just their job to drive you. They're not at work yet, and you're watching them. Imagine if you had that. Imagine if your boss had you on a screen before you got to work. It's like, okay, this man know he late. He going to Starbucks. All right. Okay, we're gonna have to have a discussion. I'm gonna tell you guys something, because we're family. Okay? I'm gonna tell you something I don't tell a lot of people. I don't even feel black some days. I feel like an alien that snatched a black by and didn't do any research at all, didn't do anything, didn't read a book, didn't watch a movie, doesn't know what Boys in the Hood is, but loves trains. Like, I don't know if I haven't had enough dates for a grown man or too many dates for someone who's autistic, because I'm definitely on the spectrum. I talk about sharks too much on the front end of the conversation. I do know what one of my problems is. I lived alone too long. You know? I think everybody should live alone and be single for at least a year, you know? Get to know yourself, right? Right? You get to figure yourself out, because maybe it's you. You know, you get to live alone, get to be single, get to figure out what's going on in here. But if you do it too long, you just evolve into a monster. Just have a downward spiral. The first few months of living alone that you live alone are the most liberating months of your entire life. And the next months of living alone that you live alone are the most depressing months of your entire life. I had the weekend off the first month I ever lived alone. I was like, ooh. Looks like somebody's gonna be naked for the next 3 days. I gotta wear clothes for nobody. I'll be naked over here, naked over here. It's gonna be great. I had that same weekend off 6 months later. I was like, what's the point of clothes? Now, I knew I was depressing my friends. I started getting gifts that were purely just to keep me alive. I just started getting puzzles left and right. My one friend, he gave me a cake, which would normally be nice, but he gave me too much cake. He gave me 7/8 of a huge, huge chocolate birthday cake. And I think in his head, he was like, this will keep him alive at least a week, and then I've done my part. I can't babysit. You know? But living alone, being single, that's too much freedom. I need a girlfriend or a roommate now just to shame me back to reality. You can do whatever you want. I can do whatever I want, no consequences, anytime I want. I got in the shower with an umbrella to see how it would feel. You looking at me like you don't know what I'm talking about. I got naked, all right? Got in the shower, turned the water, and lifted the umbrella. I was like, it does feel like rain. Will someone call today? Oh, it's just like being outside. Except I control the weather.